Hello guys, welcome to everyone. Today we will discuss the GMAN 2020 paper. Mm, so without wasting time, let's start. So first of all, the question is, which of the following is most reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction? Now we know that in nucleophilic addition reaction we have a nucleophile, and this is simply represented as Nu minus. So it contains negative charge, and now we have the options like A, B, C, and D. Now we can simply define that this is the compound where a ketone, this is a ketone, this is also acetone ketone, this is acetaldehyde and aldehyde, and this is also ketone. Now in compound A, there is a resonance, possibility of resonance, and here also there is also a possibility of resonance. So in compound A it has plus R effect. Compound B, it has 2 methyl group. So when it has 2 methyl group, it has plus I donating group, and it is also methyl group here. So plus R and plus I, and here just only one methyl group in compound C, and we have only plus I effect. So now nucleophilic addition reaction, the electrophilic center must contain more positive charge so that the nucleophile can attack easily. And we know that electron donating property of plus R effect is greater than that of plus I effect. So plus R effect is more dominating than plus I effect. Plus R effect is more dominating than plus I effect. So we can easily depict that the compound C will be more reactive towards a nucleophilic addition reaction. Okay, and now we also know that aldehyde is more reactive than ketone compound. So in terms of reactivity, aldehyde is more reactive than ketone compound. So between B and C, this also has plus I effect. This both has plus I effect. Here the only difference is there is 2 methyl group and there is just 1 methyl group. So the plus I effect is greater in this compound, and hence the reactivity of this compound is greater. Okay. Now we come to the second question. That find the CFSE value of titanium water whole 6 whole 3 plus, right? So first of all, just know the titanium. Here titanium water whole 6 whole 3 plus means the titanium is in plus 3 oxidation state. Okay, so titanium 3, the electronic configuration is 3d1 4s2. Okay, so 3d1 4s2. Now when we calculate CFSE, crystal field stabilization energy for just one d electron it will be, and we can see that this is an octahedral environment, right? So 6 water molecules are surrounded titanium octahedrali. So CFSE for this compound is, the electronic configuration will be for this compound T2G1 EZ0. So now for T2G level, here we can write like this, that so these are the T2G level, and these are the EG level. Now this one electron occupies one of the lowest T2G orbital, and for this we have energy minus 0.4 delta O. So we can easily answer this question, option A. Now number of phosphorus double bond oxygen, phosphorus single bond OH, phosphorus oxygen phosphorus bond in pyrophosphoric acid. So first of all we have to know the pyrophosphoric structure. Without knowing the structure we cannot answer this question. So we know that pyrophosphoric acid like this, P double bond O, bond oxygen, bond phosphorus, double bond O. Now OH, 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 OH. So it is simply, we can define that it has two phosphorus double bond oxygen bond. So phosphorus double bond oxygen bond here contains only 2, so we can neglect this option because it contains 4. So phosphorus oxygen double bond is 2. Phosphorus OH bond, number of phosphorus OH bond, this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have 4 phosphorus OH bond, and phosphorus oxygen phosphorus bond, phosphorus oxygen phosphorus bond is just 1. So 2, 4, 1. So option 1 is correct. And this is in terms represented as H4P2O7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So H4P2O7 pyrophosphoric acid. Okay, now we move to the next question. Our next question is, which of the following contains the most acidic hydrogen? And we have the 4 options, right? Now most acidic hydrogen. So acidic hydrogen means it should be attached with an electronegative element. So this is the most favorable condition. Now you can see here that here the hydrogen is attached with a carbon which is sp hybridized, and this is sp3 hybridized, right? This is sp hybridized and this is sp3 hybridized. Here also CH3, so sp3 hybridized, and here this is one of the sp3 hybridized, and this is also sp3 hybridized. But what is more important in this compound, this oxygen is electronegative element which is absent in these compounds. You can see that this is simply attached with carbon, this is also attached with a carbon, this is attached with carbon, but here the CH3 carbons is attached with an electronegative element oxygen it is absent in all the cases, so it is the most acidic. Okay, it contains this methyl groups contains the most acidic hydrogens among all of these compounds. Now we come to the fifth questions, which is the last questions of our discussion. Okay, so which of the following shows optical activity? Now we have four options. So first of all, we draw all the four options that we can easily answer this question, so that we can easily. Now first of all, we have cis FeCN06, so just easily you can write like this. So it contains cis, so when it is cis, then we can write ammonia, CN. It is compound A. Okay, option A. Now come to option B, trans. So simply first of all, 2 ammonia in this axial positions and the CN and in this position. So this is compound B, which is a trans. Now C and D. Trans means oxalate here, and 2Cl are this axial transposition. So this is compound C, and option D is the cis form of this. So one oxalate here, and the 2Cl are in cis position. So this is compound D. So now what the question says is which of the following shows optical activity. Now to be optically active, a compound particularly, it should not contain any plane of symmetry, right? It should not contain any plane of symmetry, and when it contains plane of symmetry, it would be optically inactive. But when it should not contain, when it does not contain any plane of symmetry, it will be optically active. So we just see our structures now very well, that A, B, C, D we have drawn, and now in compound A we can see that this contains a plane, right? Like this. This contains a plane, and you can look this that this plane simply divides the molecule in equally two half molecules. Here also in CN group, and there is also in CN group. So this compound is optically inactive because it contains a plane of symmetry. This is plane of symmetry. What is plane of symmetry? Plane of symmetry means this plane divides the molecule into two equal halves, and you can see easily that this plane divides the molecule into two equal halves. This is CN, and this is also CN. Okay, so this plane just cuts the molecule. Here we can simply notice that this is a plane of symmetry. Okay, so it is also optically inactive. It is the plane of symmetry. It also contains this plane. Above side one ammonia and two cyanide group, below side one ammonia and two CN group. So it equally divides it divides the molecule in two equal halves. Now in compound C, in trans form, easily we can see that there is a plane. If we cut the molecule like this, okay, like this, so then it has a Cl group in upper side and a Cl group in below side, so it divides the molecule in two equal halves, and this is the plane of symmetry. So it is also optically inactive. But in this compound D, we cannot see any plane of symmetry like this. If we put this plane like this, it does not. Below side we have two Cl groups and upper side we have one oxalate group. If we place this plane like this, then in right side we have one Cl group and left side we have an oxalate group. Okay, like this, then Cl group here, but there is no Cl group. Put like this, then there is two Cl group but there is no Cl group, so it does not contain any plane of symmetry, any plane, and this is why this is the optically active compound. So the option D is correct, right? Okay, so this is the video and I hope you all enjoyed that very well, and thank you so much.